Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special session in conjunction with International Women's Day, brought to you by BKNI Resources and Women of Essence. So, BKNI Resources is the most comprehensive consulting company in working with individuals, businesses, schools, governments, and organizations. And for the past 10 years, they have been conducting seminars, workshops, special programs, individual services, and private consulting relating to physical, social, psychological, aesthetic aspects of personal appearance and self-presentation. In the spirit of this year's theme, which is Choose to Challenge, this 1 hour forum will be about reflecting the challenges our speakers tonight have been through and learning from them to overcome the challenges that lay ahead. Let's dive right in. I'm going to first bring in Ms. BK Nair, founder of BK Nair Resources and Women of Essence, a beauty queen, entrepreneur, actor, and philanthropist, to share a little bit about her project, uh, Women of Essence. Hello, Ms. BK.
Hi,
Thank you for being here.
thanks, Tammy, and hi everyone. I'm Vicky Nair, like just Tammy introduced, and I feel very special today doing this program because Women of Essence has been 2 years already this year. So we actually started Women of Essence in 2019 during the International Women's Day. So why I say we, because it was actually me and my partner Priya, and we actually had a group of women who was doing it. Of course, even now we have a group of ladies, women, still running the program. So of course, the purpose of doing creating this platform was my idea was not to just remember the women once a year. We have to do something throughout the year. So usually it's always once a year. Then there's workshops, there's events and all. Then after that, yes, done. Then after another year, then we go on again and all that. So I didn't want it to be like that. I want an ongoing thing. So that is why we started creating this Women of Essence platform, which we actually did monthly workshops and events and gathering and networking and all that. So in 2019, of course, in 2020, when the pandemic came, we can't do any face-to-face events and all anymore. So that is when we actually transferred into virtual, and we did equally good. We had a lot of speakers. Tammy have posted a lot of local speakers and also international speakers. So what we wanted was to give inspiration, motivation, and empower the ladies out there. We were not talking about any gender being superior. We were only just trying to inspire the girls and the ladies out there. That was actually our purpose. We wanted to be mentally and spiritually stronger, not to fight anyone, but just to be a better person ourselves. So that was the reason why Women of Essence was created, and that was during 2020. And now 2021, we have expanded. We are doing it. We are doing the workshops online or talks online in 4 different languages. So initially we were only doing in English. So now we have English, Malay, we have it in Mandarin, we have it in Tamil, and we have different hosts conducting it, different moderator, so that we can reach out to everyone. So maybe let's say we just do only in one language, probably we will not reach out to all the ladies out there. So that was the reason why we are doing in all languages. And also, even though we are saying it's Women of Essence, this is beneficial for everyone out there. So some of my guy friends were telling today, today we cannot join because it's Women of Essence. They are gonna, all women are there. I'm gonna talk about women. I said, no, you see the word men in women. So we are all part of ourselves. We are all together. Okay, we are not separated. We are all together. Women, men, we are all together. So this platform is actually for everyone. Of course, because I think I like myself too much, so I name it Women of Essence. So, but it is for everyone. So we had so many people from so many backgrounds, from so many walks of life, actually talking in our platform. So this is for everyone to inspire each other. So I think we as a human, it is very important for us to support each other. We always need the people support. So not everybody will like us, but whoever that think that they want to support us and we should support them, which is good. All right, so that is the reason of this whole platform created, and I would like to thank everyone. I have a whole list of names, so I can't say it. So everybody who have been part of this journey, thank you very much for making this a success. 2 years ago when I started, I didn't know where it's going to end up. 2 years, it has been 2 years, and we are here. Thank you everyone for supporting. Not only the women, I have a lot of men as well in my life supporting my ventures and what I'm doing. So thank you very much to everyone. Thanks to my mom, thanks to my friend, thanks to my partners. Thank you everyone for supporting us. And let's have a very good session. And yes, happy Women's Day. Unfortunately, we don't celebrate the Men's Day, but yes, happy Men's Day as well for y'all, because like I said, there's men in the word women. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you so much, Miss BK. So I think we can go into the session. It's time to invite the rest of the speakers. Okay, so first up, we have Miss Hanim Abdul Rahman, certified trainer and NLP coach, and Miss Jane Lee, lecturer and entrepreneur, co-founder of My Computery and Minimize Zero Waste. And we actually have Miss Jayapriya. She was here earlier, but I think something went wrong, so she's not on the platform. We will go right ahead, and then we will see if she could make it and come back to us. So Miss Priya actually is a professional creative designer, art director turned psychic tarot consultant and healer. And thank you all for taking the time to grace this event. And my name is Tammy. I'll be your moderator for this evening. So I want to start with one of my favorite quotes from a favorite feminist of mine, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She wrote, and I quote, teach her that if you criticize X in women, but do not criticize X in men, then you do not have a problem with X, you have a problem with women. And I absolutely love this quote because, in my opinion, this is basically the whole gist of feminism. This is what women want, is to be given equal opportunities with zero gender bias. So, but then again, depending on one's privilege and background, they can argue that, oh, equality has already been achieved, or things like, at least it's not as bad as 50 years ago. Or they would say, oh, at least, the women in countries that have it worse, we are better off, or something like that. So, in your opinion, would you say International Women's Day is still relevant? We'll start with Ms. BK first. What do you think?
Okay, starting from me, whether the celebration is still relevant. For me, I think it is relevant. I don't find anything wrong in celebrating we women. I know people will say, oh, this is too commercialized, or it's overrated, or people are trying to make business out of it. But why not? Why not? We celebrate birthday once a year. I mean, we love ourselves. We will say, yes, I celebrate myself every day. I love myself. But then still, once a year, you still want something big for yourself. So yes, we celebrate ourselves. But once a year, why not? Why not we celebrate the women? Of course, if they're going to say like, oh, why men is not celebrated and all that. By all means, guys, get together, write a petition or do something.
They do though. I think they do have an International Men's Day.
Maybe. There is a lot of other celebrations. I think there's like celebration for Siga Day and all that. That is part of the celebration as well. So yeah, there's no harm in, celebrating. Like I said, like we love ourselves, we celebrate ourselves every day, but still once a year we have a big celebration. So like that, we embrace all the women out there, but once a year, let's have a big celebration.
Thank you so much, Miss BK. Let's go with Miss Hanim next. What do you think?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Hanim. Thanks, Tammy, for putting us in the hot soup with that question. It's a very difficult question to answer. Okay, for me, to be honest, it's a yes and no. Why yes and no? Yes, if you make it meaningful, not like Ms. Vicky said, you're commercialize it and yes, but not women expecting it. Then when you expect it, then you have a certain expectation. Then if it doesn't go your way, you'll be let down. Like commercialized, like company have to do this and that. But I think when you do it spontaneously in your own unique way, I think it'll be more appreciated. Yes, in that way. No, I would say don't expect to be acknowledged or celebrated. Don't wait for the thing to happen. Like Miss BK said, you can celebrate yourself every day by taking care of yourself. It's not about going to the spa once a year, taking care of yourself physically once a year. I think it's about taking care mentally, spiritually, physically every day. But it's like birthday. Like once a year, like you make a big hoo-ha out of it where everybody celebrated, then that's a yes. But a no to expecting it to happen in the way that you expect, then say it's a no.
Okay.
Am I out
All
of
right.
the hot spot?
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that as well. How about you, Jane?
My perspective is a resounding yes. I think it's something that should be celebrated, and I'm not looking so much at the commercial side of it, but I think it's a day of inspiration, and it's a day of acknowledgement of all the struggles that women had to go through. So it's like kind of a historical, like looking back at all the things that have happened in the past 50 years, because it wasn't very long ago when women couldn't vote, they couldn't work, they couldn't drive, they couldn't get education, they couldn't even travel alone. So it was not very long ago when that was the case. So I think having a day to just kind of remember the past struggles and also maybe future struggles as well, because I think with the new age there comes new difficulties. With modern life, we now have a lot of online spaces where a lot of new struggles are being faced by women on the daily. So having a day that acknowledges successes and struggles from past and present, it's probably a good day to just remind everybody, hey, these are some issues that we should think about. So I think on the social side, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Okay, before I move on to the next question, I would like to just remind
But what about you, Tammy?
people
What do you
that
think?
the show.
What do you
Sorry?
think, Tammy? Briefly from you.
Oh, I'm
very
the
short.
moderator. I should not give any, I should not provide any opinion of my own.
Okay. All right.
Okay, short, quick answer would be yes. I would still want to celebrate it, only to create conversations. To create conversation, to think what else can we do to improve women's condition socially and economically.
Thanks for
Okay.
that. Put it in a
I knew this was going to happen. Okay, just a reminder to those of you who are watching, this is currently live on Facebook and YouTube. So you have any comments, any question at all to our speakers, please throw them in the comment section, and then I would be showing that on screen for our speakers to answer. If possible, if you would like a specific speaker to answer your question, please mention their name in your comment as well. Okay, so the second question would be, I would like, because all of you have done so much, you are so accomplished, you're all accomplished women, and I'm pretty sure the journey to coming to achieve to this place would have been very difficult, right? So could you share a personal experience in which you have to challenge some set norms, some stereotypes or unwritten rules by the society? Can we have Miss Hanim to answer the question?
Okay. If you don't mind, can I share an experience which when I started training, I make it short, promise Tammy. Tammy is giving that look. When I started out, before I became a speaker, I started out as facilitator in a team building. When I started out in team building, when it's outdoor, those days, not many women would do certain things. It's not gender bias, it's just like it's not popular with the girls at that time. So I was doing outdoor team building. Sometimes we go to trails, trekking and all that. We have to do hiking. Some of it is like hard trails. I would say it's hard, physically hard and mentally challenging. So I was like only one of the female facilitator at that point of time with my mentor. Of course, I have a team. So these participants, while we were going hiking up, I was like struggling a bit to climb up. So this male participant reached down to me. So when I was about to reach his hand, he pulled back. I was like, what? He said, oh, I'm sorry, Hanim. I didn't mean to insult you. I'm sure you can manage yourself. I was like, what? But I'm still a girl. That feeling of appreciate him respecting me professionally, like I can handle myself. But that part of me, like, hey, I'm still, it's a nice gesture to like reach out somebody help you. So that night during barbecue, I made sure that I wore a skirt just to remind them that I'm still a girl. So I'm talking about this feeling of, I didn't expect to have that feeling, this feeling of wanting to be respected professionally, even though I'm capable, I know that I'm capable, but I still like to be treated as a girl, as a woman. It's a nice feeling to be treated as a woman, not being confused with what you do with who you are. That's one of the challenges that I feel that I had to face, balancing between your job and your gender. Maybe it's just my feeling. I don't know whether anyone can relate with this.
Right. Do you have anything, would you like to, like for example, Jane, do you have anything, do you want to add to what Hanim has said and then maybe continue with what you may have experienced in your life?
I think the struggle between like gender in the workplace is something that has been there all the time. I mean, if you want to draw the distinction further, in society, women are generally the caretakers at home as well. So they're expected to take on responsibility of now being breadwinner, but then also having to care for the home, and the struggle between am I doing a woman's job, man's job, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, my identity, I'm a bit that there's a I want to be strong, but I also need to be taken care of while I'm taking care of other people. Like how they say, if you don't feed yourself, you can feed other people. You know, all that kind of thing. Wanting to be. Is that what you're saying, Miss Hanim?
Oh yes, in a way it is. The problem that I had maybe is just my feeling. It's like it's great because the guy was actually complimenting me of, I know you can take care of yourself. But for me at that moment it's like, oh, I wanted to like reach out. I mean he's kind of cute lah. So but that besides the point. But because I at that age I didn't know how to react actually. Whether is it more of a compliment or is it, I don't want to totally be like, yo, you're like one of the bro. I don't want to be one of the bro. You know what I mean? I just want to be keep my femininity, but still keep as a professional. I still want to be seen as a professional. So I think it's a bit difficult for me at that point.
Yeah. I think like retaining your feminine identity as well as being a strong woman, right?
Exactly. It kind of get blurred at some point. Masculinity and femininity is got blurred somehow.
So basically, you still expect that act of chivalry from men, like helping you, opening the doors for you, those kind of things.
Yeah, but of course not in the jungle of, not to that extent, but for him to think like, oh, you don't need help, you know what I mean? Oh, you don't need help, because he was afraid that he might be insulting me. So it was like, should I feel insulted as a girl or should I feel proud professionally? I don't know which one is which.
He was trying to challenge you probably, Hanim.
I don't know really, because he seems to be like so sincere. He seems to be so sincere.
Maybe he wants everybody to take the challenge equally.
Maybe, but it's also like in that kind of environment, they do expect you to perform physically well as well. Because I was like a bit scrawny and looking like that. I think to some point you need to prove that you professionally you can take care of them. That's another thing. Yeah. So I feel like you need to balance it out.
But I also think sometimes men think, right, well, when they don't give their hand and when they don't do all that, it makes them more manly. Like I think they have these different ideas of being a gentleman. Sometimes they feel like, oh, if I overdo it, it doesn't make me feel manly anymore. So maybe I think sometimes it's like that as well.
True. But I also feel that it's important that we maintain our perceptions, that people can behave whichever way you want, but it's how your perception of yourself. Should you feel challenged? If you feel challenged, why do you feel challenged? Like do you have this, like you want to prove something? That's why I say it's maybe it's all about me. It's my perception of, like, maybe I was like wasn't sure, should I be feminine, should I be masculine?
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hanim. Jane, hold that thought for a while before I go back to you. Thank you, Miss Priya, for being able to join us. Um, so we are currently, okay, I'm going to set the room. Okay, currently we are at the discussion of sharing personal experiences in which you have chosen to challenge any set norms, any stereotype, or any unwritten rules that may have seen or went through in your life. So we're currently at Jane at the moment. So Jane, could you share your experience?
I think, thanks, Demi, for the question. It's not an easy question, and it's not an easy hashtag as well, the choose to challenge, right? But I think I can kind of draw some connection with what Miss Hanim said about um, the willingness to receive and ask for help is not a sign of weakness. I think that is a struggle that a lot of women have. If I ask for help, does it mean I'm weak? I mean, for men as well, even more so for men, asking for help may seem like a weak thing. But now, because women want to be seen as strong and capable and independent, if somebody reaches out and I take their hand, does that mean I'm weak? So I think that's a thing that we perpetually struggle with. But my line of thought is going towards the area of mental health. And I'm not trained in the area of mental health, but it's an area that I'm very passionate in because I started I think I went through about 10 sessions of therapy last year because I was going through quite a difficult time, not just for a pandemic, but because of life experiences. And Tammy would know as well, all the experiences that I've had that has led up to that moment. And it was last year, before I started the therapy session, they had to do some diagnostic surveys, and they told me that everything that I've written and done in the survey has pointed that I have a major depressive disorder. But I'm in remission, meaning I'm not currently in the heat of the depression, but it is there, and that I have anxiety. So when people hear this, right, straight away the mood of the room will drop. They're like, oh no, it's. But the fact of the matter is, mental health is actually, if you look at Malaysian statistics, is the second biggest health issues in Malaysia after heart disease. It's one of the most expensive health problems that is not being dealt with. And when it comes to women, a lot of times women do not get diagnosed because a lot of times when they have emotional issues, mental health issues, is brushed off as, oh, you're just moody, you're hormonal, you're crazy, you're just so emotional, that kind of thing. So I feel like we need to challenge this, and not just in society, but I feel like in the workplace as well, as all of us, I think, are in the workplace in different capacities. If it's the second largest and biggest health problem in Malaysia, do we deserve the same care from the medical side as well as in our workplace? Is this something that people actually care about? If I go to my employer and say, I'm having a very severe panic attack today, I need to take leave, will it be taken seriously? I think a lot of these norms about mental health needs to be challenged today. And maybe I truly believe that nobody is fully normal. Everybody has some kind of mental health problem that they could get some help with, talking to somebody. Everybody needs some kind of problem solving there. So we need to stop the stereotype to say that if I get help for my mental health, I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. If you say you're perfectly normal, you're crazy. I would say that that is one area that needs to be challenged in our own personal journeys as well, to be okay with dealing with these issues. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jane. Thank you so much for creating an awareness about mental health, because I think that's something we really need to talk about. And I'd like to point out here that Jane is one of those friends who will actually urge every one of us to go for therapy. Go for therapy. Okay, so can we move on to Miss BK? How about you, Miss BK? What are the things that you had to go through? What are the challenges that you had to, overcome?
I will share, but before I share, I just have to pick a little bit on what Jane said. Yeah, I think I absolutely agree with what Jane said. We all need to go for therapy because we are all crazy in our own way, but we just have the level of craziness. So how crazy you are and how little crazy you are. If you are crazily cute, then it's fine. But if you are crazily mad, then it's an issue. But anyway, yeah, you're right, Jane. Everybody needs therapy. Everybody have a little bit of their cuckoo-ness in them. Well, my experience of challenge that I have faced, okay, I'm the only child, and I think when I was growing up, I have my parents had certain expectation of how I should be, where I should be, what I should be doing, how I should be doing. Okay, or just name it all. The 5W1H is there. So. But basically, I think up to certain years, I was actually doing what they want me to do and how they want me to do. There are some classes that I've attended when I was growing up. You see, we go for music class and art class, and also some of the classes wasn't really my choice. It was chosen by them, and I end up studying law was also because not my choice. But I'm not complaining about it anymore. So yeah, so after graduation, there's a lot of expectation from the family, from your parents, from your extended family, from family friends and all that. So I think the choices that I've made, I think it was challenging for me, and I think it was challenging for them as well, because challenging to accept. They feel so challenged to accept what I was doing and the choices that I was making, because from law, actually I went into entertainment first before I went into training. So nobody in my family has been in entertainment, not even like picking up a mic and singing karaoke. So for them, it's like going into entertainment is a big thing, and it's like a taboo. And plus, because I was there and there was tabloids and all is part of entertainment. That's why it's called entertainment. You need to entertain people, from every angle, from the TV show to the papers to the write-ups and all that. It was challenging for me as well, the change, but it was also challenging for me because they couldn't accept it. So then I went into training. So of course, this was the first thing my dad told me when I told him I'm going to become a trainer. So he was like, "What? I sent you to study law. First of all, you went into entertainment. I didn't even get that. I'm still trying to learn what you're doing there in the industry. And then you're telling me trainer. What is that? Like, how do you even make money? What do people do? Like, Okay, so it doesn't mean that he didn't know at all what being a trainer is. From his job, also he attends training and all. But he just couldn't digest that his daughter becoming a trainer. So for him, it's like either lawyer, doctor, accountant, engineer. That is a job. So anything other than that, if you say you want to become a dancer, you want to, sell tea, you want to make fragmented tea at home, that one all is not a job. You see? So, of course, it was a bit challenging. But now I've been training for the past 10 years. I don't know whether they still understand what I do because I'm also training. And then I'm also in the pageant. Then I also give talk in pageant. So, it's very difficult for them to accept. And because it's a business. So, basically, business is always for them is for men, not for women. Women is supposed to have a permanent job, which either a teacher, lawyer, something like that. So it's very difficult. It's not easy to make them understand. So like I said, I don't even know whether they still understand what I do. Like my dad said, he was just trying to learn what I was doing, and then I went into something else, for which I'm there for 10 years now. But yeah, people don't understand. Sometimes it's very challenging. I've been for meetings and all, then I'm like trying to, talk about what I do and all. Sometimes I go alone, or sometimes I go with Priya. There's like two women, then they will be like, "Where's the man? Can I talk to a man, from your company?" And we're like, "No, we don't have any man in our company." So there's a lot of challenges like that, from family to, outside, like that.
Okay, so I think that's a very interesting point that you brought up, that it's like a stereotype that business usually is related to men, and when it comes to business and women, it's very baking cookies or baking cakes. Those are the kind of business that you relate women to. But when it comes to men, the scope is wider when it comes to business, you know. Yeah, that's a very interesting point. So Miss Priya, I have two questions for you since you joined a little bit late. So my first question for you is the first one, like basically we were talking about International Women's Day, and so what do you think? Do you think International Women's Day is still relevant?
Sorry, because I couldn't hear you just now. Can you repeat the question again? Because maybe my
Sure, no
line is
problem.
it's like in and out.
Okay, no problem. So what do you think about International Women's Day? Do you think it's still relevant?
Okay, so first of all, hi everyone, and happy Women's Day to everyone. Actually, your question regarding your question, is it relevant to celebrate Women's Day? For me, it's yes, because I always see women. As a woman, is it not easy for us to achieve a certain thing in a very easier way? We have a lot of obstacles. We have a lot of stereotypes to achieve certain range in our life. So this is the time. This is the day of celebrate the achievement of a woman. So because there are some women that they can't even talk what they actually we want to put our words to the world or to the society, even in a corporate field, even in a social field. But there is a woman being our voice, being our voice and saying out things and doing things. And I'm also seeing in that part. So this Women Day is relevant for us to appreciate their achievement, their the contribution to the society and to the to the economy and to the world. Yeah. So international, yes. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Priya. I think I like the fact that you mentioned about stereotypes, because my next question for you is, what are the stereotypes and what are the challenges, or rules that was made for you as a woman in society that you managed to challenge and managed to oppose in your experience?
Okay, so let's say from my experience, I came from a corporate world where I like work with advertising and all that. So when I was in a corporate world, it's quite difficult for me to get into certain position because they always put other gender, because they always being my voice, the management being take decision. Um, I mean, take decision. Saying that okay, as a woman, as a mother, I don't think so. This position will suit you because you can't even spend much time because when we work for advertising and all that, the timeline will be different. We can't work from 8 to 9 or 9 to 6. The timeline. The time for advertising field is different. We have to work like overnight and all that. So they make a decision that they will say that, okay, as a woman, as a mom, I don't think so. You can work. Your work timing will be this and all that. So there is like certain stereotypes saying that something that okay, some kind of a blockage so that we can't move forward. So, and also I've seen people have, what I can say, like, always give priority to certain people, certain gender, of course, male, saying that they can perform well because, not to say perform, they can handle it well because of the time, because they are men, so they can work late night and all that. So this is the obstacles that I could say that challenging I face in my corporate world. And also, I also feel that women are able to multitask in one time. It's not being a mother. They also can be an entrepreneur. They also can be whoever they want. So there is no obstacles for them to do that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Priya. I think what you mentioned was was pretty close to what I was reading earlier about how in the pandemic there was another pandemic due to the pandemic that we're currently facing, which is she session. They call it she session because the number of women who had to quit jobs due to pandemic, because automatically we assume that the mother is the one who has to sacrifice staying at home, because the kids are going to be at home, the kids are going to go to school through online learning, and automatically it's like, okay, the woman has to sacrifice a career, the woman has to sacrifice a job to stay at home. And the percentage of women who quit their jobs was so high during the pandemic. So I think that's another thing we need to challenge, the gender, the stereotype that the mother is the parent that has to be at home to take care of everything.
I have to add on to this, on what Priya was saying. Of course, Priya, first of all, when you said when you feel like women got no voice to talk, that made me laugh. Okay, we all have our own personal experience on that. But on the part of when you said that they expect women, that they say the women can't work long hours and all. Most companies, right, when let's say they have choices of people that they want to give promotion to, right? So this is how they will look at it. They say, okay, because if let's say I'm going to give him this position from today onwards, he has to work long hours. So if let's say the person has to work long hours, we're going to have meetings after 6. That means we're going to have meetings after office hours and all that. So we might finish 8, 9 o'clock at night. So usually they will not consider the women, because they will say, no, the women have to go back and take care of their kids and they have to cook because they have a family. So usually they'll say that, we can't choose her because she has a family. So why men don't have family? So why we can choose the men because they can work after 6 up to 9 and 10 because they don't have a family. So it's like the burden of taking care of the family after office hours is on the women, it's not on the men. So yeah, I actually totally agree, because I have a lot of people who shared this with me and say, no, I couldn't take the promotion because my superior said that it's going to be long hours and I have a family. So they gave it to another guy who's more deserving, who's also married and have a family. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Miss VK. Miss Hanim, do you have anything to add to that? Maybe you might have seen your experiences while you were training corporate staffs. They may have shared certain experiences with you. Hold on, you're muted. Hold on. Okay.
Thank you, Tammy, for the question. This is a shout out to men out there. They are nice bosses who are very understanding, husbands who are very understanding and supportive. I mean, it could be husband, could be brother, whoever you are. But I think it's not just individual. I think the system, I think especially in Malaysia, in Asia, I think employment system has to change, because it's not just for the women to drive them to the ground to work long hours. I think most Malaysian companies don't respect personal time for men and for women. There's no family time. It's like
Here.
After 6, they just call you, which is not very professional. I mean, once in a while it's fine. But even for fathers, I think fathers are playing roles in the family as well. You see, there's a lot of social problems here. It's not just the mother, because the father is not, there's no like father figure there to follow or to discipline. You know what I mean? So I think the system itself, I think we have to change. I mean, it's in the long term. You can't just do it. I mean, short term, it's long term. I think the whole system have to slightly change to accommodate people with family. I mean, they can perform, but you can't expect an individual to perform 24/7. I think that's not fair for men and women, both for men, especially for women, when you're expected to do some extra things. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's my thought on it, actually.
Okay, thank you so much for giving that fresh perspective. We keep talking about who can work longer hours, but I think the main question is, why should we work longer hours? Where is the, work-life balance?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so if there's no excess hours, there's no long hours, that whole question about who should be able to stay back late would disappear as well. What do you think, Jane?
I think maybe add on to what Miss Priya was saying. I think she's addressing the glass ceiling, right? That of course not just women face, but people of different races, socioeconomic backgrounds, people with different physical abilities also face. But of course, the most common conversation when we talk about glass ceiling is always women not being able to advance in the career pathway because of all these things that we are all brought up. And I like what Ms. Hanim has mentioned, because I think it's a systemic issue. Like in Malaysia, when it comes to paternity leave, it's only 3 consecutive days, if I'm not wrong. That's the last time I saw the labor law, from what I understand. I'm not sure if it's 3 consecutive days only or 5 or what. But in my workplace, based on what my colleagues have told me, my male colleagues, if their wife gives birth on a Friday, they get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they come back to work. It's consecutive, according to my workplace. So if it's a systemic issue and the workplace does not respect the role of a father in the upbringing of a child, then the father cannot be there for the wife, right? The husband can't be there for the wife, and then the husband is not present, then the wife will have to take longer leave, and a lot of times the women will have to leave their jobs to take care of their children. So it's this entire like vicious cycle that keeps going on and on. And I know I'm at the age now where I have a lot of friends that are having babies, having children, and a lot of the male counterparts are frustrated because they want to be there. They want to watch their children grow up. They want to learn how to bathe their babies. My cousin as well, he insists that every night when he comes home, he bathes his baby because that's his special one-on-one time. But if the father's role is not respected, then there's no help for the mom. If there's no help for the mom, this issue is going to keep repeating over and over and over again. So then we'll continue to keep arguing about glass ceilings and nobody's doing anything. So I think it's right. What Ms. Hanim said is true. It's the whole systemic issue that needs to be dissolved before we can even like get into this entire problem now. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Right. So I think when it comes to the challenges we were talking about mental health challenges, we were talking about glass ceilings, we were talking about certain set norms, like, okay, a woman should, or a girl should only be studying this degree or should only be working this kind of jobs, right? And also another challenge would be trying to balance femininity and, you know, expecting to be treated equally. I think all those things are very valid challenges. So going forward, what kind of challenges do you think you want to, you know, overcome, or maybe like certain things that you may have internalized yourself, like certain restrictions that you may have imposed on yourself that you may want to challenge in the future? Let's start with Jane.
Okay, me again. I think we have touched on stereotypes and what's expected of women in their place in society, right? And the traditional perspective is, yes, now in the modern world, we do at the very least get education, and a lot of times we go quite far. We probably get a degree, some of us get postgrad degree and all that. But end of the day, when it comes down to it in our Asian culture, having a good job, earning a good income is not a definition of success for a woman. The definition of success for a woman is being married, having children, make sure your family is in order. That's our very Asian conservative value. And I think we need to stop with this stereotype, because success comes in all different shapes and forms. And it's weird to say this in 2021. You think that everybody is already modernized and open. It's not true. It's still not like that. And I think the criticism on women, on their bodies, the how people look at women's bodies, like, there are 5 women's faces here. I'm pretty sure when they look at all of us, they'll start pointing out, this is how she looks, this is how her hair looks, this is how her makeup, is it flawless, is her, you know, that kind of, instead of listening to what we are saying, sometimes our voice is just wah, they're just looking at our faces. So I feel like the way women are perceived in society needs to change. We're not just about our so-called marital or non-married status. We're not just about our how we look. Although how we look can bring us confidence, it's for us. If I want to put on makeup, it's for me and it's not for anybody else. And I think that's quite important. So I hope that in the future, this kind of stereotypes on putting women in a specific, like, 4-cornered box is taken away and we're allowed to flourish in whichever direction we want. If we want to be a mom and have kids, we shouldn't have to be ashamed of it. If we want to be a scientist, we want to be a NASA scientist, we can be a NASA scientist. If we're divorced at 30 years old, it's also fine. Hey, liberty, no problem. You know, so let us choose our own pathway and let us be respected by that. I think that's something I want to see in the future. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Jane. What about you, Miss Priya? Do you agree? Do you want to add on to what Jane has said? What do you think about what Jane has said?
Hi. Yes, I agree with Jane. The thing is actually the point she said about the stereotype, and also the when the people actually see the appearance first and judge. Okay, she's very pretty. She should be a very fit for this position or fit for this uh, category or something like that. But enhance the person with a lot of qualification and all that, they tend to fail to get certain position when it comes to even in career, even in life. So yeah, I agree with whatever Jane said. The point, the challenges have to be changed. Have to in 2021. We have to see the new norm. We have to see the way of life, women life in a different angle of point, really. Yeah.
And how about you, Miss Priya? Like, what are you thinking about to change in the future? What are the kind of challenges that you may have not even thought about now, but maybe you want to try to change in the future, or any personal challenges that you want to overcome in the future?
The personal challenges I wanted to overcome in my future, what I'm trying, it's like, um, as a woman, I only can say that I only can build the next generation to how to handle women in the right way. I only can do that as a mom and all that. So I only can teach not only my children, for the future, others also will teach how to handle women in the right way, how to actually, balance. We are women. It's not matter a man or woman. We are balanced. We are equal. How to treat each other as a human being. So this is challenges I'm seeing forecast in my future. So that's what I can actually, as a woman, that's what I can contribute to other women in future.
Yeah, that's great, because I think among the five of us, Miss Priya is the only mom here who has a son and a daughter. And yeah, I think she has a huge responsibility to, bring her son up to be someone that, to be an amazing human being. Thank you so much, Miss Priya. How about you, Miss Hanim? Do you have anything to add to what Jane and Miss Priya has said? And what about you? What do you think you want to challenge in the future?
Totally agree with both what Jane and Priya said, especially what Jane said about success. I think it's very subjective, because I think now with social media, there's a lot of external voices that's interrupting your thoughts. I'm one of those, Jane, who have a lot of voices in between my two ears. It's my own. Sometimes you couldn't differentiate between the external voice and your own voice because it's too loud. I think it's important to know what you want in life. I'm guilty of this. I used to be like, I thought that I need to know everything. I thought that I need to be know it all, to be liked or to be loved. I wasn't aware of all this, okay, until much later in life. I studied law as well, but of course everything went halfway, because I thought I needed to do that to be accepted in a workplace, or to be liked, or to be cool. And I burned like nearly 40,000 ringgit doing things that I don't want to do. So everything ended up halfway, because I wasn't really asking and stopping that, do I really need this? Do I want it, or do I need it? It all actually ended up with one thing. So my challenge with myself is to shut out external noises, and to what my limiting belief would be like, I have to be I have to be somebody in a certain way to be accepted. But the hardest part was like to accept myself. Once I accepted myself for what is, I don't feel the need anymore. Like I need to be someone to be accepted. It's a very long and hard process actually. Questions that you ask about yourself, about your background, and all that. And I was telling myself I have to be a trainer for the rest of my life, which is not true. I could be doing so many other things. So my challenge now is to find out like what else can I do, because I would love to serve others in whichever way, human beings or animals. So this pandemic actually, a good way of seeing for me is like it forces me to see other perspective. What else could I be doing? Am I using all my resources and my skills? I was so focused on training until I forgot that, hey, there's another part of me that I could be doing something else. So I hope that answer your question, Tammy.
Yep, thank you so much, Miss Hanim. Yes, I think a lot of people tend to put like a deadline, like okay, when you reach a certain age, you feel like okay, this is it, this is how I'm going to be till I die. You know, okay, I'm settled. When basically age is no barrier, you can decide to do whenever and whatever that you want. You can even decide to take up a degree at 50 years old. It doesn't matter as long as you feel like you're doing it.
May I add something? Another thing I
Sure.
think is also is globally is like you need to have a car, a home to be happy. You need to be married at a certain age, and when you're married, people ask how come you're not having kids. When you have one kid, people ask when is the next one coming. It's a never-ending thing. But when you put success, you label it, then it's never ending. But you can have nothing and still be happy. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not good to have all these things, but if you keep on chasing, then when are you going to be happy? That's my point actually.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I think it reminds me of a quote that says, "Happiness is not a destination; it's just a journey." Because I think the moment you reach that one destination, then you'll be like, "What now? What next?" You know, and that will never stop. How about you, Miss BK? Do you have anything to add to what the other speakers have said? And then, what about you? What do you plan to challenge in the future?
Mm, of course, like what Jane said, Jane was saying that the society has a certain expectation from a woman, which I think I agree. They do have from all genders. Most of the people will have certain expectations. So no matter what you do in life, what you have achieved, so whatever your bucket list is, maybe your bucket list is to get 5 more awards and get a party license, go diving. This is what I want to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this is what they want. If for your life to be complete, you need to get married and you need to have kids. It's like you got no choice. It is that is what you're supposed to do. Only then you are complete because you can give a list of profile and say this is what I have achieved, and they look at you and they will look at you and say, "You're not married yet? What happened? Oh my God! Your clock is ticking. Let the clock tick. The clock is doing its job. Okay." The clock is happily doing its job. Yes, it is ticking. You know, clock ticks in many ways. Clock not only ticking for your hormonals, clock is also ticking for your life, your lifetime, your lifeline, everything. There's ticks for everything, but that doesn't mean that is what completes you. So if like what Jane was saying, it's the choices that we make that makes us happy. So if let's say no matter what I have done in my life, but let's say I am married to a man that I don't like and I have kids that I'm unhappy with and the kids are unhappy with me, but that is success. That will be a success and they will say, yeah, that is success. That now you're complete. Now you're a woman because you have kids, you have given birth. That's why you are a woman. No, women is women. When we are born, we are born with all the credibility. It doesn't mean that I have to be pregnant and I have given birth before only then I become mom. We all have our motherly instinct in us. We are all mothers. Girls are always mothers by nature. Okay, we don't have to uh, you know really give birth and all that. This one I need to share because we used to have a group chat of like 5 of us there, and this what happened during one of the Mother's Day, and this person, she actually wished, they said Happy Mother's Day to this 2% because the other two is not a mother yet lah. So she's just emphasizing that just because they gave birth, they are mother. No, I said I'm a mother too. I have two fur babies at home that I take care. I'm a mother also. I'm mother in a different way. I'm a mother to two fur kids, or maybe someone else is a mother to a lot of people. Mother Teresa was mother to a lot of children out there. So we are all mother in our own way. So the things like that, it actually hurts. It hurts me because like sometimes like I said, you can do whatever you want, but it's still like, oh, you're still not complete. And then they will also ask question like, really, how come you're so pretty and you don't have anyone? You must be so choosy. Of course, you have to be choosy. You have to choose what you want to be, who you want, not what you want to be with, who you want to be with the whole of your entire life. You know, when you want to go to a restaurant and cafe, right? You Google, you read the reviews. Can we do that? For our life partner, is there like a Google search for him that I can read reviews from all his exes so that I know what kind of review they have given? Actually, they should start doing that, you know, start giving reviews. So they might be like good reviews, bad reviews. So these are the life choices that we have to make for us to make us happy. So, you know, we can complete ourselves by ourselves, but if it's good if someone else can complete us as well. And then moving forward, challenges that I would like to change is, yes, there's a lot of platform that we can talk and we can voice out, like me, myself, and Priya, all of us here, we have created and we are actually promoting Women of Essence as a platform to voice out. But it's just that, like what Jane said, how many people are really listening and how many people are really just hearing? So because there's a difference between hearing and listening. So how many people are really listening and how many people are just hearing and maybe just looking at the hair and the lipstick and the gestures and all five of them look good together or not, or today BK is having a bad hair day or something like that. Or am I really being heard? So whatever platform, whatever talk shows are being created is because to be heard. And I really hope that one day it is being heard and there are changes being made. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss VK. So basically, it's about challenges in the future would be about, you know, bringing, nurturing better generations, you know, generations who basically don't see people based on their gender. That would be one challenge that we need to look at. Redefining success, that would be another challenge that we need to look at. And, you know, trying to get our voices heard, that would be another challenge that we probably need to look at. And this is a comment by David Sri that shows, I think it resonates with what we are talking about. Basically, success can mean a lot of different things to different people, but do not succumb to society's pressure and live your life to the beat of your own drum. I think that's a really nice way to put it. Double thumbs up. Okay. We are almost reaching to the end of our session, but I don't think I want to let you guys go yet. So before we go to the last question, I think I would want to also ask in terms of we have an entrepreneur here, we have trainers. If you would like to give one life lesson to a young woman who probably listening to us right now, because you're all like at least 30 plus, right? We have seen a bit of life compared to probably early 20s or teenagers. And if you would like to give one life lesson to them, what would it be? Miss Hanim, can you start? Hold on, yeah. Okay.
I'm in the hot soup again. I would say start to listen to yourself first. Put yourself first, not in a selfish way, but I would say try to block out all the other voices. Social media sometimes is good, sometimes it's not, depending on how you use it. But because now there's a lot of peer pressure where you go into depression, which is not necessary actually. So please do ask yourself what you really need, not want what you really need. And I would say it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes is not something bad, because if you don't make mistakes, all babies, we won't be walking today if we don't fall like 1,000 times before we start walking, you know. So I would say make that mistake, learn from it and move on. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really tough. And the biggest critics will be inside you. It's you yourself. The biggest the enemy is within you. It's not external. If you can win that battle inside, you're halfway through already. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's great. I think that's like simple, but it is simple, but it's one of the hardest to follow through. because you can decide to not listen probably to one day yourself inner critic, but then sometimes it can be overpowering. So I think it's the whole struggle of trying to silence it as well. But I think it's not about silencing, I think it's about trying to balance it, because sometimes your inner critic is important. That pushes you to perfection or pushes you to work better. But I think you should know when it's starting to get toxic.
You should know when it's working against you instead of for you. Yeah,
Yes, yes, correct.
Ask for help. Ask for help. There's so many people who you don't need to be cool all the time. Being weak is sometimes is being strong. Being weak and asking for help is actually being strong.
Yep, yep. Thank you so much, Miss Hanim. How about you, Miss Priya?
Tammy, maybe you need to ask her again. I think she didn't hear.
Miss Priya, did you hear my question?
She didn't hear. She didn't hear.
Right. Yeah. Or I think the voice is going a little slow to her.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, Miss Priya. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you catch the question?
Tammy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I think it's a bit delayed.
Yeah, it's delayed. Yes.
Okay, can you
So
repeat the
maybe
question again, Tammy? Sorry.
Sure. Sure, no problem, no problem. What is one life lesson you would want to, provide, or like, a wisdom that you would like to provide to any young girls who are probably listening to you right now? I've lost her.
Let's go with Jane then.
Yeah, I think we'll go with Jane first.
Okay. Until Miss Priya comes back.
Sorry, my line is very bad. So again, Tammy, again, can you
Okay.
repeat the question again?
Okay, go to Miss Priya.
Sorry, my
No
line is
worries,
very
no
bad. I
worries.
think. Yeah.
No problem. That's the one
Yeah.
downside of virtual stuff. Yeah.
This
Basically,
is also one of the challenge, I guess.
yes, one of the
Yeah.
challenge. What is the one life, if you have one life lesson to provide to younger girls who are listening to you right now, what would you provide? What would any wisdom or life lesson that you would like to share with them?
Okay. The one life advice I can actually give to our younger women, girls out there, I could say, be yourself, love yourself more, and appreciate every moment of yourself. You are unique. You are special. Don't ever compare yourself with others. Don't ever go and stuck into the situation where you think that we have to be like this. As a woman, we have to do like that. No, life is limitation. Expire for women. So live your life, love yourself, and be the woman who you want to be, and
Right.
contribute to the society.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Priya. Okay. Over to you again, Jane. What about you?
All right. Thanks for that question. I would say that since you mentioned, right, people above 30, I would tell younger women that honestly, for me personally, I believe my life began at 30. Life got exciting. And my entire 20s was all about striving to be a person that someone else can approve of. And it was in the teenage years, it's all about, as what Miss Hanim said, you don't have to be cool all the time, but when you're a teenager, you just want to be cool. That's all you want to be. So it's all about fulfilling another person's expectations. But when I hit 30, it was a milestone that woke me up and told me that I'm living for myself now. Life begins now. And life got way exciting after 30. Started to live my dreams. I started to now starting my business and everything. And I can't wait for 40. I cannot wait for 50. I cannot wait to see what life has to bring. So the whole concept of aging and all that, no, you get more mature, you get wiser, you get more beautiful as the years go by, because you have so much more life experience to gain. There's so much more to learn. It's so exciting. So I would say to young women, don't worry about turning older by 1 year. Don't worry about all those things. Things just get better. It's awesome. I love where I am now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. How about you, Miss Vicky?
Sorry, I was muted. I haven't reached 40 yet, but I think, Jane, my life will start when I'm 40. Anyway, when I was in my 20s, I think I was too happy. And then I'm still in my 30s. When I got into my 30s, I think my whole 30s was a journey, because it was like a whole lot of a life lesson that I've learned. So that's why I said maybe when I reach 40, then I will live my life, But anyway, life starts at 40, and 40 is the new 30. And I think when I was in my 20s, anyone who's older than me would want to say anything, I don't think I would listen. But then it is still my duty to tell all the girls out there, after going through whatever that I've experienced and all that. Of course, like what Hanim said, listen to yourself, make yourself happy. And I think everyone have their own ways of being happy. Some people just like to be alone and read a book at home. That makes them happy. Some people like to be with a group of friends. That makes them happy. Sometimes, yeah, you just have to find your own way of making yourself happy. And the most important thing is you need to love yourself no matter what. No matter you are tall, short, you are too thin, or you're plump, you just need to love yourself. You don't need anyone to validate you. So I think that is the problem that we all had. I hope we don't have that kind of problem anymore between us five. That we don't need anyone to validate us, to say that you're good or you're bad, or you're smart or you're intelligent. I think we just need to know ourselves. If, let's say, sometimes you put on weight, you just don't need someone to tell you put on weight. I have a mirror at home. I look at my mirror every day. Okay, so yeah, I don't need that kind of reminder. Like, oh, I think you put on weight. Yes, I know. Or you say, oh, you got a little bit of extra gray hair. Yes, I know. I can see that. Okay. So that's the thing. Like, just be happy with yourself. Don't wait for someone to come and tell you, yes, you are pretty, you are good, you are smart, you're intelligent, because we know ourselves. All right. So we are with ourselves 24/7 for so many years. I think we are the best person who will know ourselves. Nobody else from there, not your mom, not your dad, not your boyfriend, not your husband, who's going to come there and tell you yes, you are pretty, yes, you are good, yes, you are smart, yes, you are intelligent. Nobody else will tell you that. Did I just go missing? Hello. Can you hear me? Am I still
Yeah, I
being
can
heard?
hear you. Now tell me when missing. It's a magic tonight. It's magical night.
Anyway,
Yeah. I think
yeah,
it's because
I think
for the first
I
time.
went too intense. I think I went too intense. So I think, yeah, I think I'll stop there. I think I went too intense. The universe is telling me that's it. Yeah. Anyway, that's all. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah.
Thank you so
Since
yeah, but thank you so much for sharing, because I think a lot of people need to hear that. They need to learn how to have that self love, lead to stop listening to other people for validation. um, you are your own person. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for people who are listening, and if they've already decided, it's so easy for people to say I can't do this. But let's just hope that that just remember that all these women here have been through things, and if they say you can do it, you really can do it. Okay, so I think we are finally reaching the end of our session, and I would like, as a conclusion, I would like to ask each one of you, based on the discussion that we've had for the past 1 hour, listening to the experiences of the women here, what would be your main takeaway from this session? What did you learn from this session? Miss Priya, would you like to start?
Yeah. So from today, I think that what I'm trying to take, be a woman who you want to be. Yeah, that's what I could say that, and that's what we are here, and so we actually, like, I would say also, we are being other women's, our future women's voice also. So be the woman who you want to be.
That's great. That's short and sweet. Thank you, Miss Priya. How about you, Miss Hani?
Okay, I think it's a lovely session where everybody put in their inputs, and I realized that it's nice to hear from different perspective than just your own voice. Sometimes we shock sendiri, you think we're always right, you know what I mean? So it's nice to listen from what other people are going through. I felt that I'm not alone, and I'm sure there's so many other struggles out there, and women comes with so many strength and weaknesses and all that. I think it's great to learn from someone else. I think everybody is, I know it sounds very cliche, but I think everybody is beautiful in their own way. And I agree with what BK said, that the longest person we could have a relationship with is with ourselves. So please take care. Please take care of you. You take care of you. I take care of me. It sounds like very pandemic, right? Kita jaga kita. Yeah. I've learned a lot from all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Hanim. How about you, Jane?
I suppose to sum up, I can say that all of us are some of our experiences in life. So Women's Day, right? Women's Day is a day where we acknowledge and acknowledge and celebrate, and also laugh and cry with all the experiences of every woman that's out there. So I think the main meaning behind Women's Day is a cry for empathy lah, for another human being. We just want other people to empathize with our and everybody else's experiences, and not just, while we call it Women's Day, not just see us as just how we are biologically, but see us as a human, a person of equal rights, equal intelligence, equal standing in society, just to be recognized as a human being. So with everything that I've heard tonight, I feel like that really sums up the experiences. We're all so different, from so many different backgrounds, so many different experiences. And when we hear the real true stories of another person, we can feel for them and we can empathize with them. I think that's important. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jane. How about you, Miss Vicky?
Okay, so I always love sharing, and I also love hearing from all the other women as well. I don't know if anyone out there who has been listening, sharing their experiences as well on Facebook, but I would love to see that and read that as well. But from what I've heard today, like what Jane said, everybody have more or less the same problem that we face, the same challenges. And I think we are all handling it quite well because of our experiences. And then I hope we will be a good voice for all the women out there. Even though women, we all celebrate Women's Day, not all women is going to support you. So like in the very beginning, I said in my opening speech, well, not everybody is going to like you, so support those who like you, and yeah, try to support everybody. That's what I'm expecting. I want everyone to support me, and I would support everyone, because I don't want to have any enemies. But if I have, it's okay. Yes, I'm fine with that. But let's support each other. But the thing is, I also learned something that not everybody is gonna like you. So you have to be okay with it, because like Hanim said, I have me and myself, and kita jaga kita, as in like BK jaga BK, Hanim jaga Hanim, Tammy jaga Tammy. But I would love if Tammy jaga me, Hanim jaga me, and Priya and Jay jaga me also.
Thank you so much, Miss VK. I think that sums up our session for today. It's basically just trying to, I think if I were to put it in a acceptable way, what we're trying to say basically is, empowered women should empower another person as well. Help one another and help everyone we basically will have to lift each other up. Do not envy another woman's progress. Help if they need help, just help. And when you see another woman progressing, you should celebrate it like it's your own progress as well.
I just want to interrupt and say, I hope everyone won't take it in the wrong way when I say not all women will actually support you. Why I'm saying that is because that is the reality. I have a pageant background. Tammy has pageant background. Tammy will also understand this. On the first day of pageant, this is what they all will say: we are all sisters. On the final day, right, usually I'll run away first, because that's the day you will know whether they are sisters or not. So that is why I say that everybody will like you. But if someone likes you, they want to support you and you want to support the person, which is good. But if they don't like you, it's okay. So it is like that. Lumrah hidup.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we also have a lot of education to make. I mean, we really need to educate women. We internalize misogyny, internalize patriarchal thinking. Sometimes it's not the man who says, you should be this way. Another woman, most of them say that. And it's sad. It's very sad, actually. So I think it's our duty to educate these women as well, because it's not really their fault. They're conditioned that way, and they think that is the way to go. And it's sad that they cannot see that so much more opportunity would be opened up for them if they could just come out of that restrictive thinking. So yeah, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing all your experiences. I really had fun asking questions today. I'm glad that I didn't have to say anything much. It was just me asking questions. And thank you so much for the audience who've been here till the end of the show, who have been commenting. And please feel free to connect to any of the women here. If you go to my Facebook page, you actually can see that it's been tagged on the post. So if you have any questions, you can ask them, or you can continue commenting under the video, like what Miss BK said. They'll all be there to read your comments and probably connect with one another as well. So thank you so much. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. And happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.